Greetings.
Welcome to the DM's Rant.
I think this is definitely the only second time I've done a DM's Rant, and I just kind of go off about certain things that irritate me. Here's the one thing that irritates me. One thing that irritates me is like when people, you tell them, hey, there's going to be a game, we're going to start a new storyline, and yada yada, and you got some people, most people actually, I think, usually ask, what's the setting? What sort of character do I need? Who's playing what? Where's it going to take place? Is there already a wizard? Is there already a thief? How many fighters are there in the party? Are there going to be in the party? Things like that. And so the topic I wanted to rant on about was, how much should a player know before the game begins? Ow, that's hot. Woo! Yes, wow, surprised me a little bit. That kind of irritates me on the surface, and then it kind of doesn't. Here's how it does irritate me. I think it's more fun, and I enjoy the surprise element, the sandboxishness of the idea of not really knowing what to expect, because your character just kind of shows up in this environment, not knowing the other players, and then the storyline pulls them together, or doesn't. So that's kind of how I like to go about things if I'm designing the game, if I'm writing the adventure. However, underneath that surface irritation, there is the idea. Some adventures are very clear. You know, this module is designed for 5 to 6 characters of levels 3 through 7, and is suggested that you have at least X amount of wizards or X amount of fighters and 1 thief in the party. You know, many modules will have this information on there. So in that case, I understand why people ask that question, because you've got the number crunchers, you've got the people that's really into the mechanics of the game, and that's where a lot of their joy comes from. So, you know, how will I be able to manipulate these things to my character's advantage? Because it is a game. On the other hand, in that aspect, I'm a little more story-driven. So I prefer for people not to know very much about the game. I tend to like it more when what the players know coming into the game is strictly the character. So, you know, you're gonna need to know that character's background, why they have come to the place that they're at in the world today, that kind of thing. As far as setting and all those other things, like who's going to be playing what, that can be important information depending on the module or the adventure that's being run. I'm going to pull a couple examples off here. Red Hand of Doom. This one is specific, and it does say, designed for a party of 4 characters who begin the adventure 5th level. Over the course of an adventure, they should accumulate enough experience. This one doesn't recommend any specific classes. Let's look at a Castles and Crusades module, or adventure, depending on what you call it. This is A3, the Wicked Cauldron. This one says Castles and Crusades always has some really. They really accentuate the sexiness of the drawings, you know, the artwork, which is fine by me. This module also does not recommend any specific classes, does not recommend a specific character class or classes. Okay, so here's a classic module adventure, and this one is specific. This one was written by Guy Gax with Mincer as well. Yeah, with Frank Mincer. I never got to meet Gary, but Frank is certainly a hero. So much wisdom, and what a kind-hearted man. So this one here says, first or second level character, 1 of each of the 4 major classes. So this adventure is very specific that you should have at least 1 of each of the 4 major classes. So this adventure module was written specifically, certain obstacles in mind that the authors did not believe probably that you really could get past without at least having someone that specialized in a certain class. So That's just an example. It depends on the module, folks. It depends on the module. Keeping the Borderlands. This is still played a lot at the conventions. And it says thus today. 6 to 9 player characters of first level to play out many adventures, gradually working up to the second or third level of experience in the process. The group is assumed to have at least one magic user and one cleric in it. So in other words, there's going to be some magical obstacles and going to need lots of healing. This one is, hey, looky there, Gary Gygax. Yeah, you're going to need lots of healing because he wasn't from this era, this wishy-washy era where, you know, you were intended to have the same characters for, you know, months or years. Things were tough. Things were tough back in the day. In that case, absolutely, you would want the players to know at least that much ahead of time because it was necessary for that particular module or story if you're not going to alter that aspect of it. I understand why they ask it, but I like it better as a surprise. For instance, maybe you will show up to the game table and you find out that there's already 3 other dwarves. Or maybe you will show up and find out that there's, oh my gosh, there's everybody's a thief except for one person. That can be kind of cool. It can also be a hindrance. But see, that's the fun of it. That's the real world aspect of it because you don't know. You don't know. You just have to hook up with whoever you can hook up with to get the job done, to get to the end of the story. And who knows how that's going to play out. So there's a couple different ways you can approach this kind of thing, all of which are going to be fun, but just a little bit for you to consider. The next time you're planning a game at your table, just a little something to consider. So in closing, don't let them know what to expect ahead of time unless they just have to know because it's needed for the story. Give it a try. Next time they ask, you're going to have a new direction, a new storyline. What do we need to draw up? Draw up anything you want to play, as long as it's within this level, and that's all you're going to know for now. Give it a try. It's really fun. Give it a try. It adds a little element of suspense, even before they get to the game table. Thanks for watching Dungeons & Coffee. This was the second DM's Rant. Hope you got a little something out of that. The DM's rants aren't necessarily to try to teach you something or to tell you something's right or wrong. It's just kind of put some ideas out there for you to consider because some folks, some folks don't have the same experience as others. So it's kind of neat to, hear what other people are thinking. So with that being said, feel free to comment on this. Your comments may lead to an upcoming topic. Who knows? I like to get feedback from the viewers. So until next time, keep your books off the table. And keep reaching for the freaking dice. That's Scottish for keep your books off the table and keep reaching for the dice.